Alright, so today has been a royal clusterfuck. And it started out really good. I decided I was going to fast today. I spent my time getting in the zone, being in a really good space this morning, and was in a great mood. Um, and kind of surrendering all the concerns to the universe and, not trying to be in that space of worry, right? And I was in a great mood. And I had somebody that contacted me last night about the storage container that I had over my storage unit. So I met them this morning at my storage unit, and I was I was in a hurry because I didn't. She said that she was going to be in the area around 11, but then the message she sent me was at like a quarter till 10, and she said she'd be leaving soon and needed the address for the storage facility. And so there's this whole ordeal on that end, right? So I give her, since she says after I give her the address, she tells me she can be there in like 20 minutes. All right. So I wasn't really ready to do anything at that point in time. So I got up in a hurry and just put on yesterday's clothes. And, I didn't do anything yesterday, so they weren't really that bad. In fact, that's kind of my kind of go-to is if I didn't have enough time to appreciate the outfit, then I have no problems recycling it. If I barely got dressed and had it on for like 3 hours, yeah, I'm not above recycling that. That's so that was today's situation, right? But after so I went and met her at the storage unit, got the thing out of there, had the door open, and she happened to see this table that I had posted for sale. And somebody had been talking to me about it a couple days before. I was trying to work out a trade, and then she just fell off the face of the planet. So the lady was like, "Ooh, is that for sale?" It's like, as a matter of fact. So she went ahead and bought the two things. And so when I was done there, I went back home, finished getting ready, and I was like, I'll just, whatever I'm going to do later, I'll do later. So I finished getting ready and went and got the dogs all loaded in the car because I figured we'll go to the bank and we'll go to walk the dogs, right? So I was originally thinking I was going to walk the dogs first, but then I'm glad I didn't because that's where the clusterfuck happens. Okay, so we go to the bank first. And I get the money in the account and get the payment made that, I have this late payment that's sitting there waiting on me to deal with it. I got that handled, was feeling pretty damn good because I already got a little more money than I had expected from this little sale situation. And then, it worked out, right? From there, we went back to the school and we're going to walk on the way home, right? And so we stop and we all get out, and I have, my three, and then Piper, which, the refresher, that's the dog that I did not want because I did not want another project. I already have three of my own to take care of. That is plenty. But my parents were insistent on getting another dog because I'm there and can take care of it. So we got this dog that I didn't want. And of course, nobody's working with it aside from me. But I have tried to set them up so they can do things to work with her, and they keep not doing it. Like whether it's just leaving her on the leash for a little longer, so then she's forced to spend time next to them and can't just bolt all the time or whatever. I'm trying to make them deal with it some because this is a dog they wanted. I did not want. However, she's been going on walks with us, because I'm trying to get her used to being around me and my dogs, learn the pack dynamic to some degree, and at least be more comfortable being around the other dogs and hopefully me. Because she's at least getting used to being around me to some capacity. And, make sure to pet her and all that fun stuff when I have her in the car and all that. The snafu came because she got groomed a few days ago. And I didn't think about it after she'd been groomed. But when I first put the collar that she has now on, I put it as far back as I could with all her fluff in front of it to keep it in place. And it was pretty secure. It didn't seem like it was going anywhere, right? Since I didn't fix it when she went to the groomer, they did not do that, I don't think. They did not put all the fluff on the other side because Shelties are prone to slipping collars. And so we get out of the car over at the Baseball Diamonds, and we actually made a lap all the way around the Baseball Diamond area and had to stop over at the trash can because Taz and Ziva both stopped to poop, so we had to clean that up. So we went over to the trash can to throw it away, and I don't know what happened in that time frame, if she got hung up on the other dogs or what it was, but as we were starting to walk away from the trash can, I noticed that she was no longer on her leash, and she was about 4 feet behind me. And that was about the time she realized she was not just going along with us. So I was trying to, I got everybody real excited to go back to the car. And she started following us like she was going along with us. But then I looked at her too much and she bolted the other way. And then it was this big ordeal because I have my 3 in the car unseat belted at that point because, all chaos is breaking loose at this point, or all hell's breaking loose, right? And so we go running, or I am trying to figure out how to keep my dogs in the car, but not have it running because I don't know how far I'm going to go away from the car. There's this big whole ordeal. So, part of it, I was in the car because she started running and I was trying not to let her get out of my sight. So then I would drive a little bit, which of course spooks her that much more. It was a whole ass ordeal. And she ended up running out into the road. She did not get hit, thank God. But I pulled off on the one side because she had stopped and I was trying to call her back to the car to see if I could get her in the car with everybody else in it. But then, because it involved me looking at her a little bit while I'm trying to open the door, she took off. I ended up getting hung up in the mud because it's been raining the past 3 days. It's rained not quite nonstop, but a lot. Yesterday was pretty much nonstop. Day before was on and off. And the day before and Wednesday was the same as that. But once I got my car hung up and there was a bunch of traffic coming, then I didn't see which way she went. So it was 12:45-ish when she got off the leash, or slipped her collar and went MIA. And it is now almost 6:30. And we have no idea where she's at. I mean, we have a general idea of where roughly she's at. Which is not, I should have not, you know how things get crazy and you do something and then you realize that's probably not the best thing you should have done. I should have just let her walk away over at the school, because at least she would have most likely stayed in the woods around that area. We started out over there, but then I think she ended up across this other road in another field, and there was a kid that was trying to catch her there and told us where roughly she was at when he lost sight of her. I ended up taking Ziva and Taz and Pepper because, of course, I called my parents as soon as I get the fucking car hung up in the mud, can't get out of the mud, lost the dog, all these fun things, right? So I call them to let them know what's going on and let them know that I'm stuck. So now we have 2 issues to deal with. That was a big royal clusterfuck. And, yeah. Reconnected with my old Girl Scout troop leader. Yeah, that was fun. She was outside. I'd walked away from my car and I rolled the windows down for the dogs and then walked away from it and didn't realize that I rolled them all the way down. It's like, well, that's not ideal. Luckily, they didn't go anywhere despite not being seatbelted. But I went down a little ways and saw this lady, and she saw that I was looking for something, and I told her what was going on. And she told me her name. It's like, I know who you are. I said, I used to be in your Girl Scout troop. She's like, what? So, so I told her my name, and she's like, oh. She's like, I didn't recognize you. It's like, yeah, well, but I told her what was going on, and it was so complicated because there's like all these different things that I'm trying to think to handle, right? So my parents get over there, and then of course, my dad tries to get the car unstuck, and it's not working. We made some nice divots in the side of the where they've been doing all this nice work to pretty up the grass and everything lately because they fixed the road and done things around there, and then I horsed it up because I got the car stuck. And everybody's going to be looking over there like, what the hell happened there? But it was like I was in the middle of trying to not get too far away from the car but not lose sight of the dog, and it was this big complicated thing, and then I ended up just going further down than I thought I did, and then couldn't go anywhere. And my dad's like, well, don't worry about the dog until we can figure out the car situation, because obviously I need the car situation to help with the dog situation, right? So, my aunt and uncle that live next to us, my mom, I don't know if my mom called them. I think she probably did. And they came down and, of course, told them what's going on. That aunt called the other brother-in-law that was not there and to see if he could come help get me out of the mud, and he luckily was able to do that, so that was helpful. And then he and his wife, they drove separately because, of course, she had told them also that the dog was loose and I got hung up in the mud and all these different things. So the uncle comes over to help me get unstuck. And then my aunt was driving around trying to figure out the dog situation. And it was very complicated. I finally ended up, I'm over at the other school, but that looked like a little dog running through over there. But she wouldn't be over there, so anyway. It was complicated. When my mom and dad came down, they brought their other dog to see, if they found her, maybe she would help get that one in the car, right? That if she saw that Pepper was in there, then maybe Piper would join. After we got my car unstuck, I told my mom I was going down to take Ziva and Taz home, and I said I was going to keep Gidget with me, and she had me go ahead and take Pepper back home as well. And so I take the 3 of them and drop them off, leave Gidge in the back seat, and it's like, you're going with me, you just wait. So we went down. There's this walking path that, it goes several miles. And there was a lady and her kid. I don't remember if I said that in this video or if it was the one that I gave revealing information and killed that video, because it's like, yeah, I don't want to leave that in there. So anyway, like, when my mom had somebody come down say that her son was chasing the dog or had found the dog and had gotten out. We went back over to where they were at, or driving separately, and actually, I think this was before I dropped the dogs off. He said roughly where she was at, and it's like, well, that looks like this trail, so I'm going to go ahead and take everybody else home, and then I'll bring Gidget back with me, and, because I figure maybe having a dog that she knows and is familiar with would help, right? So we go, I drop the dogs off. I mean, luckily it's not too far from our house, but golly. And then we go down to where the parking is for this trail. And I was on the trail. It was like 3/4 of a mile. And I saw something black and fluffy. I was like, that might be it. But I didn't have a way of getting over to where I saw it. I don't know that it was her, honestly. But I think I ended up... That's what it was. I was on the phone with my mom. I said, I think I might have seen her, but I don't know for sure. I said, but I need to go back to the car and to go a little further down the road. So, of course, we'd walked 3/4 of a mile, so then we had to walk 3/4 of a mile back to the car. And on the way back, my uncle comes back through, the one that helped me get out of the mud. And I talked to him briefly and said I think I might have seen her, but had to go to the car, and he said his wife was driving around trying to keep an eye out too. It is a whole lot of chaos. Have not found the dog yet. No, roughly, I mean, the lady with the rescue came out and she's been helping us look. And she's been talking to people left and right. And she said that she talked to somebody who had hunting dogs. And it said that they've always, when they got separated from their dogs, the thing that they always heard to do was to leave out like a shirt or something that smells like the owner, and then also something of the dog's, and leave it somewhere near where the dog was last seen at. So she doesn't really have anything that she's super attached to. Like, there's no toy that's hers or anything like that, because God knows Taz won't allow anybody else to have toys. The Fluffy's gotta die. And that's like the only thing any of the other dogs want to play with, but he will kill them. So we have only hard toys that Blockhead will use, because that's all we can have. But yeah, the other complicated thing is, before I left the house to go to the bank and walk the dogs, I had posted the couch for free because we wanted it out by the end of the weekend, because we got new furniture coming on Monday, right? So in the midst of all this, I keep getting messages. And it's like sucking the battery on my phone. And there's this one person that I was talking to the most about it. The first person actually stopped talking, and she came back and messaged me a couple hours ago and said her phone died. But she really wants it. It's like, well, there's somebody ahead of you now. I said I had to delete the post, but I said I've already coordinated with somebody that's supposed to be dealing with it. However, if that falls through, I would let her know, right? I was like, I sent the guy a message. I said, here's my phone number. send me a message and just say couch or something, and I will get back to you on, figuring this stuff out. I said, we have a dog that has gone, or got it off of her collar, or got out of her collar, and, we've been dealing with that. I said, but I cannot leave this ad up and continuously get all these messages. I said, it's killing my phone. And it is really distracting when I'm trying to do anything else, right? So he sent me a message, and so I don't know if he's even said it. Oh, somebody's responded, so he might have gotten back to me, because I'm trying to figure out a time frame for tomorrow for him to come pick up. And he's like, well, is there somebody that could help load it? It's like, there is me, there is nobody else. Unless I can talk my uncle into helping out. I said, however, we're still on the hunt for this dog. I said, so just let me know a time frame, and I can be back at the house and meet you there, and we can get it figured out. I said, but yeah, it's me, myself, and I as far as the loading stuff, and I can't get it out the door by myself. Otherwise, I would have just, put it at the end of the driveway, said come pick it up. But, and I'm not trying to get my dad involved with it, because, God, that's just complicated unnecessarily, and my mom would hurt herself further, so we don't need that. I said, potentially I could have my uncle help, but I said, I don't know. We'll have to have to play it by ear, because I don't know what's going on right now, and everything's chaotic. But it's just, it's been so, it's interesting, because I feel like we're going to find her. It's going to be fine. But it's like some of the stuff that has come up today. Like, okay, when I got the car hung up and lost sight of her, and then my parents got there, and then my aunt and uncle got there, and we're all, kind of trying to figure things out, right? Of course, I'm also the one that's posting on Facebook and, doing the lost pet things to get the information out to more people, so other people can keep an eye out for her and all this stuff, and so our phone numbers are out there. So if somebody does see something of her, then we can, get some kind of information quicker. So as I'm working with all of that, I happen to look up, and there's 2 bald eagles flying over top of us. It's like, that's pretty cool. And then I don't even know where I was driving, but I ended up behind this truck with the 333 on the license plate. And then I end up in this area where I'm kind of navigating roughly where we last saw her, and trying to figure out how to get closer. I'm trying, just, my dad's calling. I'm not answering that right now. I'm going to be really distracted until that goes away. Sorry. What was I saying? Just go away. Go away. Okay. Now it's off of my, the eagles, the 3s. I end up in another area where there's like 819 was part of the address, right? And there's like 4 mailboxes with 819 on them, A, B, C, D. It's like, I just keep seeing all these little things, like little synchronicities and whatnot. It's like, I feel like this is going to play out well somehow. I feel like we're going to get her back, and it's all going to be fine. But just like all the little synchronicities and the little weird things that are coming up, it just seemed like the universe was kind of reminding me that, it's all going to be okay. Just chill. Right? Just chill. We got this. Dog's not, my grandmother's calling me. What the fuck? It's all going to work out, right? So, I'm ignoring that. Okay. My numbers, my things. Oh, and being in the good meditative space beforehand. At one point I was like, I need to pull over somewhere and just like meditate or something, like just clear everything out of my system and, just bring it back in. That is tonight's journey, I guess, because I know it's all going to work out. It's going to be fine. I don't know. I feel like just seeing the little things that came up along the way, I feel like this is to serve a bigger purpose, right? So yes, she's MIA at this point in time. Is part of the purpose to show my parents that they really don't need another dog, that they're not working with and doing anything to, get her to come to them more or anything. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I just feel like it's going to serve some sort of greater purpose. And I don't know, maybe part of the purpose is me storytelling this for some reason. I don't know. I know I wanted to do the video a long time ago today, and then it's just like, I can't do that while we got everybody looking. And of course, everybody, my go-to spot for my videos is over at the school where we were at, right? So people keep driving through that area to see if they see any signs of her or anything. It's like, now, well, she does not have the collar on, and there's no leash to make catching her easier. I believe she should still have her orange bandana on, so at least this little black and white dog that's hiding in the bushes should potentially has something to make her stand out a little bit. So there's a bonus. On the other end, hopefully she didn't get snagged on anything. And then of course, if we wanted to worst case scenario catastrophize things, which we don't, my mom and the lady with the rescue had the conversation of there are lots of coyotes in this area, and there are, but we're going to just count on the universe is going to take care of this, and it's all going to work out. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm not going to let myself go on that negative spiral and freak out over all the possibilities, right? That's we're not in that space anymore, right? So even though this whole situation really sucks, and it's really aggravating, and there are like 1,000 ways I would rather have spent my Saturday than driving around in circles. And at one point I walked through this muddy field because my aunt thought she saw something. It was not the dog. She said she saw movement, and then she saw no movement. But she did see movement at some point, and this one thing was there the whole time. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be her, but we're going to look. So me and Gidge go and take off over this field, and it's muddy as fuck because it's been raining the past several days, right? So it's like, awesome. So, yeah, Gidget hadn't tracked mud. Okay, so I left my keys with my aunt and uncle because, my aunt stayed where she thought she saw the movement. And, told me I had been through there driving around, and then realized this. On the other hand, I realized all this area was connected back there that I didn't realize it was. However, I don't think they want general traffic on it by any means. But in a hurry, it's good to know that goes through to another spot that I didn't realize. And yeah, so they were over there. I followed my uncle back there, and then, my aunt showed me what she was thinking she saw, and me and Gidge took off in the mud, and then she's like, well, give me your keys, and if you end up over there and it's nothing or whatever, then we can bring your car to you. I was like, hey, good idea. So luckily we did that, and then once I got to the to where she was talking about, it actually happened to be on the trail where Gidget and I had been walking before, and so we came out of it and we're meandering further. Anyway, so we still got a couch to get rid of, and hopefully this person is able to kind of coordinate with that or work with me on that tomorrow, get that out of there, in the midst of all this worrying about the other shit with the dog missing. I don't know. It's really aggravating because, like, on these things, I want to keep pointing out to my family that this is not, I did not want this, right? This is one of those things. Is like, the dog needs lots of work. They are not willing to do the work. Why are they getting the dog? Because I'm there. I'm supposed to just do it, right? I'm just supposed to handle these things, and then all is well, and blah, blah, blah. And then I can't do anything of my own because I'm dealing with all their shit again. But yeah, I will say, I decided I was going to fast the next few days. And so today is day one of the fast. It did really good at keeping me not worried about food. That said, every time I fast, I drink a lot more water. And I have had to pee so much today. And I'm sure you're just thrilled to death with me sharing that. But I might as well share that because that's the day. I had to, at one point, I was at like a quarter of a tank, and then I was like way down. It's like, I'm going to have to fill up this gas tank. And then when I stopped, I went ahead and I went in and just got a water at the gas station, but also got a Gatorade because I've been doing all this running back and forth, and I'm not eating anything today. So I was trying not to complicate it further with that, or on that end. And so I got the Gatorade, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's been a pain in the ass. But of course I will post whenever I figure out what's going on with the dog. The lady with the rescue, I don't know if I said this part, or I'm pretty sure I did. The lady at the rescue said that, if you leave something of theirs and something of yours, so they have somewhere to go to, then that helps catch them, right? So my mom had 2 shirts on, so she took one of them off, and then I had the dog's collar, so we put that over near where where the last sighting had been. And my mom left a note with it. So I don't know. It's been a fucking day. And I want to make sure I got my video in, and since it's dark now, I came over here to the school to finish it, or to the other school, so nobody's driving around looking for me over there, because, well, I mean, that's where they would have been more likely to find me, because they've been driving over there so much. But since it's dark, everybody's called it for the evening, and I'm gonna go home and take a shower, and yeah, figure something else. Maybe go to bed real soon because I'm tired. It's just been so much running and confusion, and of course I was thinking tomorrow, I'm still gonna take my 3 over. I'll probably walk them around the same area that she took off from, and then once I'm done doing that, I will probably take Gidge again and walk her on the other trail, because those 2 spots are like, they're sort of she was a little north of the one trail. If what I saw was in fact her, I don't know that it was. I don't know that it wasn't. I'm going to say what I saw looked like it was a little more carefree than she should be. However, it was the only spot that I saw this big black fluffy thing that was actively running against the mud. So I don't know. Just fuck. This whole fucking day, man. But yeah, I figure if I, keep walking them in that area, and I figure Gidge, like I said, she knows Gidge, She didn't like it when Gidge tried to sniff her when she got back from the groomer. She took off from that. But otherwise, like, she didn't like that much attention on her. But, she's familiar with the other dogs. Ziva she'll be 13 in less than 2 months, and Taz is more chaotic than necessary for that. He would not help. Gidge is the most low-key, where she's not going to freak out and get overly excited and make her bolt like Taz would, because Taz is going to bark and jump and be a pain in the butt. So that's my game plan. Tomorrow I'll go walking them around the area we lost her at, and then after that, go walk Gidge, because at least Gidge she's the athlete, man. She go forever. She's like, this is great. I don't know why we're doing it, but all right. So, yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up because I got to go home and pee and really want to take a shower. And, yeah. And possibly go to bed real soon. So, as always, I appreciate you. Until the next time. See ya.